The world tilted violently, like a nightmare I couldn't wake from. One moment, I was stepping carefully along the narrow trail in the Colorado Rockies, the crisp autumn air filling my lungs. And the next, I was plummeting into the void. My husband, Alex, and I had been laughing just seconds before, something stupid about the squirrels we'd spotted earlier. Then came the shove, deliberate and unforgiving. From behind, my arms flailed wildly as the ground vanished beneath me. Alex's shout echoed mine, raw and desperate, as we tumbled together down the jagged slope. Rocks battered my body like fists in a street fight, each impact sending jolts of fire through my ribs, my legs, my skull. When we finally slammed into the ravine floor, the impact knocked the breath from my lungs. Everything blurred into a haze of pain and dust. I tasted copper on my tongue, blood, and felt warmth trickling down my temple. Alex lay a few yards away. His body twisted unnaturally, but his chest rose and fell in shallow breaths. Above us, on the cliff's edge, voices drifted down. My mother-in-law, Vivian, and her daughter, Chloe, Alex's younger sister, barely out of her teens. They weren't screaming for help. They weren't panicking. Vivian's tone was calm, almost satisfied, like she'd just checked off a chore on her list. "It's done," she murmured. Chloe's voice trembled, but not with horror. "Mom, are you sure? What if someone finds out?" My mind reeled, foggy from the fall. But those words cut through like a knife. Why weren't they calling 911? Why weren't they rushing down to save us? Alex stirred beside me, his eyes locking onto mine with a terror I'd never seen in him before. His lips moved silently, play dead. "Don't move." I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the urgency in his gaze silenced me. I forced my body still, shallowing my breaths until they were barely there. Even as agony clawed at every nerve, the voices above grew clearer, carrying on the wind like a twisted conversation over coffee. "Chloe, honey." This was the only way, Vivian said, her voice laced with that faux maternal warmth she always used to mask her barbs. "Your brother and that wife of his, they were going to ruin everything. Take it all from us." Chloe hesitated, her words cracking. "But Alex is my brother. And Sophia. She's always been nice to me. Remember how she helped me with my college apps last year?" A pause. Then Vivian's sigh, heavy with manipulation. "Nice? She's the one who turned him against us, prying into our business, whispering poison in his ear. If we let them live, we'd lose the house, the money, everything your father left for us. For you." I bit back a gasp. "Money? What money?" Alex and I had been scraping by, him as a software engineer in Denver, me teaching high school English. We'd never touched a dime of his father's estate. Vivian had always claimed it was tied up in debts. But now, lying broken on those cold rocks, the pieces started shifting in my mind. Betrayal seeped in, slow and venomous, like ink spreading through water. They had planned this. My own family, by marriage, but family nonetheless, had lured us here to die. For what? Greed? Resentment? The thought coiled in my gut, tightening until it hurt more than my fractured bones. 3 days earlier, the cabin we'd rented in the foothills felt like a cozy escape from the grind of city life. Vivian had insisted on the trip, booking the place herself with that insistent smile of hers. Family bonding, she'd called it, her eyes gleaming a little too brightly. Alex had been on edge for weeks, late nights staring at his laptop, jumping at every text. I'd chalked it up to work stress, the layoffs hitting his tech firm hard. But as I unpacked in our shared room, the walls thin as paper, I overheard whispers from the adjacent bedroom. Vivian and Chloe, their voices low and conspiratorial. He suspects something, Chloe murmured. What if he tells Sophia? Vivian shushed her. He won't. Not yet. We got time to make this right. Make what right? I pressed my ear closer. Heart thumping. The policies are in place, Vivian continued. If anything happens on this hike, well, accidents are common in these mountains. Slippery trails. Loose rocks. Chloe's breath hitched. But killing them? Mom. That's not killing. Darling. Protecting our future. Your future. Alex found those old documents, your father's real will. He knows I adjusted things. If he goes to the lawyers, we're done. Broke. Homeless. Adjusted? The word hung in the air like smoke. I backed away as footsteps approached, plastering on a smile when Alex entered with mugs of tea Vivian had brewed. Mom's special blend, he said. But his hands shook. I sipped, noting the odd bitterness. Alex's eyes widened. Don't, he hissed, snatching it away and dumping both into the sink. What the hell? Alex, I whispered. He glanced at the door, fear etching lines on his face. I can't explain now. Just trust me. Don't eat or drink anything from them. That night, the cabin's warmth turned stifling, every creak amplifying the tension. Vivian suggested board games, her laughter forced, while Chloe peppered me with questions that felt probing, invasive. Sophia, you and Alex have life insurance, right? Smart. With how unpredictable things are. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. And the house in Denver, is it in both names? I deflected, unease growing. But Vivian steered the conversation, always circling back to family loyalty. Inheritance whispers. Later, as Alex feigned sleep beside me, I slipped out and overheard Vivian on the phone in the kitchen. Yes. The trail tomorrow, the one with the drop-off. Make sure the alibis hold. The payout will cover everything we've lost. Payout? My blood ran cold. She was plotting murder for insurance money. Alex's father hadn't died penniless. She'd stolen it all. Forged documents. Left her kids in the dark. And now, with Alex uncovering the truth, she saw us as threats to eliminate. I confronted Alex in whispers that night. Your mom. She's planning to kill us. His face crumpled. I know. I found the will 2 months ago. She embezzled over $1 million. Split it with some shady contacts. Chloe's in on it now. Mom convinced her we're the greedy ones. The betrayal hit like a wave, drowning me in silence. We couldn't run. They'd track us. Instead, we lay awake, plotting our survival in hushed tones. The weight of unspoken hurts pressing down. Back in the ravine, as Vivian and Chloe's voices faded, assuming us dead, Alex whispered the full horror. Dad left us each $400,000. Mom took it all. Forged our signatures. When I confronted her, she bought policies on us, $500K each. Beneficiary to her and Chloe. The revelation fueled a fire in me. Not just anger, but a deep, festering wound. Betrayed by those who'd smiled at our wedding. Shared holidays. We couldn't just survive, we had to make them pay. But first, escape. Alex's phone. Cracked but functional. Held recordings, confrontations, manipulations. Phone calls to hitmen she'd hired as backup. We dragged ourselves through the underbrush. Pain lancing with every step. My ankle swollen. His shoulder dislocated. Hours blurred into agony. But rage kept us moving. We reached a ranger station at dusk, collapsing as sirens wailed. But we didn't hand over the evidence immediately. No. In the hospital. Bandaged and broken. We decided, Revenge first. The police report? A vague hiking accident. No suspects named. We went silent, letting Vivian and Chloe believe us dead or at least vanished. Weeks turned to months in hiding. A dingy motel outside Boulder, our base. The psychological toll gnawed at us, nightmares of falling. Trust shattered like glass. Alex withdrew, haunted by his sister's complicity, Chloe, whom he'd protected from bullies as a kid. I buried my pain in planning. The silence between us growing heavy, laced with unspoken accusations. Why hadn't he told me sooner? Why had I ignored the red flags? But revenge bound us. We hacked Vivian's accounts using Alex's tech skills, nothing traceable. Just enough to drain small sums, planting seeds of paranoia. We leaked anonymous tips to her old contacts, hinting she'd double-crossed them on the inheritance split. Chloe, back in community college, started receiving cryptic messages, photos of the cliff, whispers of, "We know what you did." Her social media showed the cracks, posts about anxiety, lost sleep. Vivian spiraled faster, her polished facade crumbling. We watched from afar as she hired private investigators, burning through the stolen money, her health failing under the stress. The bungalow she'd bought with the embezzled funds? We tipped off the IRS anonymously, watching audits strip her bare. The explosion came on a rainy night in Denver. We lured them to an abandoned warehouse, fake messages promising resolution from a mutual friend. Vivian arrived first, gaunt and desperate, Chloe trailing like a shadow. "Show yourselves," Vivian barked, her voice echoing. We stepped from the darkness, ghosts risen. Chloe gasped, crumbling to her knees. "Alex? Sophia? But you fell." Vivian's eyes hardened. No remorse, just calculation. "You should have stayed down." The confrontation unleashed years of suppressed fury. Alex played the recordings, her voice damning her own words. Chloe sobbed. "Mom said you were stealing from us. She said it was self-defense." But the lie hung hollow. We didn't kill them. That would have been too merciful, too clean. Instead, we handed everything to the FBI, recordings, financial trails, hitman connections. Vivian faced fraud, conspiracy to murder, life without parole. Chloe, manipulated but complicit, got 20 years, her youth wasted in regret. But the price? Our marriage frayed under the weight of vengeance. Alex became a shell, haunted by the family he'd destroyed. I stared at mirrors, seeing a stranger hardened, empty. Silence replaced our love. Betrayals echo louder than any scream. We survived the fall. But the real plunge was into darkness, where revenge's thrill fades, leaving only the scars.